While visiting Houston, Texas, I decided to do some video game hunting, and it went very well. Before traveling to Houston, I looked up on the Apple Maps just retro video game stores, and I was shocked at the amount of stores that popped up. And I was pretty excited to drive around the city and check out as many as I could. I had the entire day off when I landed, so my plan was to land, pick up the rental car, and go check out as many as I possibly could. However, my flight got delayed, and I had to be very strategic. So I picked up my Kia Soul from the rental car place and drove directly to a mall which had a store inside called Game Guys. I'm glad this cop car is here because this parking lot is deserted and I have all of my luggage in this car. It was pretty cool. They had like these claw machines and walls of Funko Pops, which who's buying that many Funko Pops that you have aisles of them? They just went on forever. It was insane. And I was starting to think they didn't actually sell any games, but then I finally asked and they had them back in this like weird tiny little room and they had nothing I needed in there. And I guess I didn't mention that it was Halloween day, so it was kind of funny to see that there were kids trick-or-treating in the mall, like walking up to different stores and getting candy from them. And I was kind of bummed that that store didn't have anything because it was already 6 p.m. and stuff was starting to close. So I was on a time crunch and rushed off to the next store. The next store I drove to was Movies and Games Galore, which had some pretty cool Halloween decorations outside.
At least Michael Myers can protect my car.
And they had one of the craziest stocks of games inside. Just walls of them. I mean, it was packed to the brim with games, but their prices were kind of ass. Because I guess I should mention, I specifically usually hunt for GameCube, Wii, PS2, and Wii U games. I recently picked up a Wii U and I like that the games are super cheap. You can get a lot of them for like $5, but this store specifically was selling them for like 15, 20, which just seemed a little overboard. However, I did end up picking up something.
So I picked up Rayman Legends because I had this digitally on the Xbox One and I've always loved this game. $12, figured that was a good price. But they put a sticker on the game for warranty. Why? Why is your warranty have to be on the game? Why? Why not the case? Why the game?
So yeah, I was pretty happy about that. I love this game. I'm excited to dive back into it. But I drove off to the next door, which was called Game Bros.
Well, this place looks pretty cool, but their Google Map lied. They're closed.
And from here, it was unfortunately almost 8 o'clock, but I was able to find two places right next to each other. The first being half-priced books, which I had heard really good things about and heard that their prices can be really well. And somebody lied about that because their prices were terrible. Like they were selling Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii for $60. Why did you price it at $60? It's a Wii U game that has a much better version for the Switch that you can get for cheaper. They were also selling Smash Bros. 4 for the Wii U for $20. GameStop sells it for $5. Why $20? But their inventory was cool. But there was no way in hell I was buying anything at those prices. And even though I knew it would be closing in 5 minutes, I sped off to my final store, Game Over Video Games. And this was a pretty cool store. They had a nice collection and their prices were a lot more fair.
They were super chill in there. They were closing in 3 minutes. And I told him, hey, if you're trying to go, just like feel free to kick me out. He said, we got 3 minutes. I looked around real quick, found a copy of Red Steel 2. I have the first one. I hear the first one's not that great and this one's way better. I don't have a Wii motion remote yet. I'm working on that, but still pretty cool. $15, not that bad.
And although all the retro game stores were closed, I decided to hit one of my favorite stores to find games at, Goodwill.
We're making one more stop. Although I should be going to the karaoke spot. That sounds like a blast. There's also a place next door called Bingo. And it's literally just a hall of people playing bingo. That's amazing.
And just like every Goodwill ever, they had some Connect 360 games. They did have a backbone, the little attachment you can put on a phone to play games with. I just decided not to get it. I hate playing games on my phone. We are on our phones way too much, and I like my games to be on other devices where I can throw the phone away, not see any notifications, and just focus on what I'm doing. And it got kind of late, so I decided to head back to my hotel. Wasn't the haul I was looking for with how many stores were out there, but hey, still a pretty good pickup. Rayman Legends. I have absolute awesome memories of playing this in college, and I'm really excited to dive back into it. And I actually just recently started playing Red Steel 1. Since I have the sequel, might as well play the first one. And I have been having fun with it. I've also realized there's something wrong with my setup that I need to fix because the pointer controls are not working very well. Oh my god, turn around, turn around. There's a guy right there shooting at you. Just get it together, my guy. Figure it out, figure it out. The next day I had some time to kill, so I decided to venture back out and see what I could find. First I stopped at another Goodwill, and after browsing around, I found an absolute holy grail item. A Charlie Brown Christmas. Because my wife and I collect DVDs. But jokes aside, I actually did find something pretty cool.
So it's the next day, and I decided to stop at another Goodwill, and they actually had some of the Goodwill classics, some random Call of Duties for the Wii, Cabela's. Didn't pick up any of that, but what I did find is this Pip-Boy mug. This thing is huge. I'm not sure I'm gonna get it back in my suitcase because I'm traveling, but for $10, they go for like 30 on eBay. I just thought this was so cool and so goofy. I'm kind of in a small town, so there were some people in there that were very confused as to what it was, which was funny. But yeah, it just was too weird to pass up. It's from a company called Just Funky, but it has like copyright from Bethesda on it. It's in good shape. One of those things I just couldn't pass up.
After that, I decided to hit up a thrift store called Rip's Thrift Store. The building outside was pretty cool. It had like this train painted on it. And when I walked in, I was shocked to find a whole thing of PS2 games. And I spent my time looking through them because he said any game I could find was actually half off. And even though I usually don't buy 360 games, I did end up picking up these two for pretty cheap. They were both $4 each. Kane and Lynch 2 can actually play on my Xbox One. It's backwards compatible. I've never played either of these games, so I thought that was pretty cool. It's a little bit sun-faded because their game cabinet was unfortunately sitting right next to an open door and just getting beat by the sun. I don't know, it kind of gives it some character. I don't really mind it. And I'd never heard of this Kinect game, Gunstringer, but I did some research on it, and apparently it's one of the best Kinect games there is. My Kinect is in storage right now, but once I finally get it back, I'm pretty excited to try this out. And last, after spending a lot of time looking through that wall of PS2 games I told you about, I ended up picking up this game 13, which I had never heard of, but it looked pretty cool. Like on the back, it looks like this like comic style first person shooter. It just looked really interesting. And it even has some OG Blockbuster stickers on it. So for $5, I mean, couldn't beat it. Doesn't have the manual, unfortunately. But I actually started playing this game, and it's a lot of fun. Gotcha. I love this art style. This is the only kind of art style you find from, like, indie games now. This is so cool. Like comic book style, little effects when you kill somebody. That's so cool. You good, lady? I'm performing CPR. Oh, and that wasn't all I found. I just realized because it wasn't in my stack of games. But I found this. It's a PS1 memory card in a case, which I can store my other memory cards in. I thought that was awesome, and I actually need this. Because I didn't realize when you play PS1 games on the PS2, you need an actual physical PS1 memory card. I haven't tested it yet, so I hope it works, but what a cool find. It was $3. And the fact that it's in a case, so I don't lose it, that's awesome. Yeah, just so you can see it. PS1 memory card, 15 blocks. I don't know why it's blue on here and it's red here, but I just thought that was so cool. And the guy in there was really nice. He was selling me those games for half off, and he said, just so you know, that's actually a memory card, so it won't be half off. It's like, sir, I don't need to pay $1.50 for this. I'm okay paying $3. That is a totally fair price. I made one more stop in a collectible store I realized was right next to my hotel the whole time. And I came very close to buying this Scooby-Doo GameCube game, but the cover art was just so beat up and the disc was actually kind of gross. I just decided to pass on it. I also came very close to buying this Casino Royale UMD disc for my PSP. I just decided that was kind of silly. The store was pretty cool. They had some other like statues and this cool thing of the Joker and Batman, but I ultimately didn't buy anything. But in that same mall, literally the store right in front of that collectible store, there was an antique store that had all kinds of games in it that they were selling for 20 bucks each. And unfortunately, it was Madden and a whole bunch of games that were not worth $20, and I don't understand how they ever sell any of them. But not game related, I found something awesome, and that is a vintage shirt from my favorite band of all time, Soilwork. They're in Sweden. Why was this shirt in a random antique store in Texas? I have no idea, but I got it for like 20 bucks and I was so excited. It's like their typical logo with some art, I believe, from the Panic broadcast, one of their albums. So I was so happy to buy this. It's like texting my wife and texting other people. Like, look what I found. I found a shirt from my favorite bands. So a really cool accidental find. But getting back to what I said about that antique store pricing every video game at $20, this whole journey, if you want to call it that, I went through in Houston, just made me realize just how wild the pricing of retro video games are when you go hunting in these stores. They're either just overpriced, like they'll look up the price on eBay and find the highest possible listing price and just sell it for that, or they'll price everything for like $5 and it could be $100 game. They have no idea, they don't care, they price them at $5. Or they can be like that antique store and price everything at $20, not realizing that some of those games are worth a couple dollars at that and nobody really wants them, so they're just gonna sit and never sell. Or even places like Rip's thrift store will actually take the time to look up prices and price things. They had a copy of Sonic Zero Gravity Riders for the Wii for $20 priced in there. Even though like all their PS2 stuff was priced at like $5, they still took the time to look up the Sonic Riders and charge 20 for it, even though someone probably donated it to them. What are you selling it for 20? Sell it for 10, it would sell immediately. I don't get it. And even though this was already an incredible haul and I was already concerned how I was gonna fit this all in my suitcase, I kept going the next day. I rode out to a retro GameStop, which is becoming one of my favorite places to go hunting for games because they price everything at loose disc. So they can have the disc on its own in one of those generic GameStop cases, and they'll charge the same price if it's in the case with the manual, which is kind of cool, and it makes it really fun because you're gonna walk in and not have any idea what they have because their stock is always so random, but you find some cool stuff. And they actually had a lot to choose from in there, and I spent a lot of time deciding what I was gonna pick up. And I ultimately went with this copy of Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. I want to get the entire trilogy because I've never played them before. This is the second one. I decided to get it because they did have the manual inside, which I thought was cool. It was just a very clean copy. So I was pretty happy about that for 10 bucks. And this was a little bit of a silly one, but I ended up buying Alan Wake for the 360, which I literally beat on my Steam Deck in my hotel room day I was there. I love this game a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. The story is really cool and unique. The combat, although it can get repetitive, it was just a cool little survival horror story. And the reason I also got it was it had the add-on content in here completely unused. Like it still had the download code for the 2 extra missions that come with the DLC. So even if I never play this, I just really enjoyed this game a lot. So I decided to pick it up for $8. Why not? And having found all of this stuff and now being very, very concerned about how I was gonna fit it all in my suitcase, I pretty much decided, all right, I'm not traveling out the stores anymore. I was actually working a night shift, so I was just getting very tired. I'd been to pretty much everywhere I possibly could. Again, because I was staying an hour south of Houston, so I didn't really have time to go into the actual city. But while sitting in my hotel room bored, I started scrolling Facebook Marketplace, another favorite of mine for buying games. I saw one for Pokemon Coliseum, Chibi Robo, like rare GameCube games that people were selling. So I thought that was pretty neat. But one in particular caught my eye, and that was a listing for Metroid Trilogy for $80, which I thought is a very fair price because they can go for $100 and beyond. And especially on Facebook Marketplace when you don't have to pay for shipping or taxes or anything, I was very interested to see what that was all about. So I messaged the lady and she had more positive reviews than I'd ever seen. 168, like that's insane for a Facebook Marketplace seller. So I messaged her, I'm like, hey, I'm interested in this. And she messaged me back and we picked a time to meet. She said, and by the way, I have a whole bunch of other stuff for sale if you're interested. I said, yeah, send me some pics and I'll look through. And after seeing multiple photos of the game I wanted to buy and other stuff she had for sale, I pretty much determined that it was legit and I would go meet up with her. So I drove an hour to go to this lady's house. And obviously kept kind of like my safety radar up. I was just kind of checking things out.
Just pulled into the neighborhood and it's pretty nice. There's kids running around. I think I'll be okay.
So I walk up to her door and she comes and greets me, and it was this very, very sweet, nice lady who invited me inside. Again, red flag, never do that on Facebook Marketplace, especially alone. She had a significant amount of reviews that made me think the whole thing was legit, and I just felt comfortable doing it. Invites me inside, and she had like her own retro video game store in her house. She had like in the front of her house a whole bunch of consoles and other things for sale. And then she brought me back in her kitchen pantry. She had stacks of games for sale. I guess she was doing it professionally. She said she was in a pretty bad car accident and just wasn't able to do a whole lot of work, and video game hunting and selling was a way of making a living. And I just thought that was pretty neat. Resellers get a lot of flack, but this was just somebody who just was making a living out of it, and just, I don't know. She was really nice. I enjoyed meeting with her. Yeah, obviously, so I picked up this copy of Metroid Trilogy. It has every single Metroid 3D game. I've never played any of them, so pretty excited about this. I put it in a protective sleeve, but it's got the manual. The disc is in good shape. So I was very happy to pick this up. And for $80, I thought that was a fair price. But she had sent me a picture of her other games, and I had been very interested about this one. Manhunt 2. I played through the first one and enjoyed it a lot, and figured I would either get the Wii version or play this on my PSP. Never thought I would actually own a complete in-box copy of Manhunt 2. And if you don't know, I haven't looked at this one yet, but the first Manhunt has one of the coolest manuals of all time. Managed to negotiate with her. Bought the Metroid for $80. She was trying to sell this for $85. I was not going to pay that for a PS2 game, but she had bins full of other games that she was selling for $5 each. So I picked up this loose copy of WarioWare Smooth Moves. I don't usually buy, this thing is not in its case properly. I don't usually buy loose discs for $5. I just couldn't resist picking this up. Then I picked up Nintendo Land. Through all of the stores I had been at, I saw this for 10, 15, sometimes 20. She sold it to me for $5. Very glad I was patient and picked up a complete inbox Nintendo Land for $5 for my Wii U. Was happy about that. And Sonic Unleashed, also complete inbox for $5. So because I had already decided I was buying all of this, she decided to throw in Manhunt 2, bundle them all together for $150, which is an incredible deal for all of this stuff. I was very happy to walk away with this stack. Was just kind of, it was a cool experience meeting her, and it's just kind of funny where this retro video game hunt brought me to, and the other things that we found through the journey of hunting for games in Houston, Texas. So overall, an awesome experience. It was a struggle, but I got this all in my suitcase with a t-shirt from my favorite band tacked on. I just could not have been more of a success. I had this all planned out to go and hunt, and damn it, we found some awesome stuff. I'm so excited. I've already had a lot of fun playing that 13 game for the PS2, and I'm not pulling it out of my PS2 until I beat it. And kind of just as a final thought, even though the prices can be all over the place, there are deals out there to be had. And in a world right now where things are very expensive, now is an actually great time to go hunting for video games, because you can find great deals. And like, this whole stack of games could last me a whole year, and I got each one for less than $10. So you don't have to go out there and buy all the expensive stuff, because there is expensive stuff. You can go find cheap games and really enjoy them. The only game I've played so far has been 13, which I got for $4, and I'm having a ton of fun with it. So don't let the crazy prices of some stuff get you down. Go out there, see what you can find, bring a partner with you, bring a friend, and just have fun with it. It's just fun experience. You never know what you're gonna find out there. So yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit different from my typical videos. If you'd like to see more kind of vlog, retro pickup style stuff like this, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, click buttons, all that stuff. If you've picked up anything recently you recommend, let me know. ScootTube out.